Google just had their launch night in event and a bunch of other things. They just announced their new Chromecast with Google TV. Now, I managed to get my hands on one, so let me give you my initial thoughts. What's up, guys? I'm Mike, and welcome back to BenderTube, where you get bite-sized tutorials and smart home tech reviews to let you know you should get it or forget it. So, I weaseled my way around the internet and managed to get this thing delivered mere minutes after Google actually announced it. And no, Google did not send this to me for review. I paid out of pocket and probably got someone in retail fired in the process. But it's here, so let's talk about it. In the box, you get the basics, the Chromecast, the charger and cable, and the new thing in there is the remote. But on the outside, it honestly isn't much. It's a different shape than it was before, and it comes in different colors, but it's going behind my TV, so who really cares? I'm not gonna be looking at this thing ever again once I put it back there unless it's time to move or replace the thing itself. What really matters here is that it's replacing the Chromecast Ultra with a far superior experience and a cheaper price point. So before this, if you wanted to use any Chromecast device, you needed to have a phone, a tablet, or some kind of Google Home or Google Nest device, and it didn't matter which one you were using, the result was clunky as hell. It kind of didn't work that well, and playing and pausing or trying to skip to the next episode of something was just a chore. The first improvement was just as simple as adding a remote. It removes the need to use any of those other devices. You can just control it by itself, and it's just that much easier right off the bat. It is a Bluetooth remote, but it has an IR blaster to control other things, and it oddly does more, but also less than a Fire TV remote. The first thing is that it can turn my TV on and off, which my Fire TV remote can do, but this can also automatically switch the input to my Chromecast, unlike my Fire TV remote, where unless I set my TCL Roku TV to automatically switch to that input when it turns on, I find myself having to grab the Roku remote and change it itself. This just has a dedicated button. Other thing it has are pretty standard volume controls, mute, navigation, a back button, and a home button. But it also has a dedicated Netflix and YouTube button, which is honestly coming in clutch because that's where I binge most of my stuff from. So to be able just to press it straight from there is a godsend. It also has a button for the Google Assistant, and this is a voice remote. So you hold that down, ask your question, and it can pull up the show that you're looking for, the weather, or control one of your integrated Google smart home devices. Now, like I said, there are certain things that it lacks compared to a Fire TV remote, and honestly, in this case, most every other remote. It lacks physical play, pause, rewind, and fast forward buttons. Now, it's not a deal breaker, it's just a weird thing to kind of omit. Now, let's talk about what really matters though, and that's Google TV. No, that's not some new streaming service that you have to pay for monthly. It's the update to Android TV. It's just a like Apple TV or Fire TV like experience where it's gonna gather all your streaming services together, and honestly, I am into it. Now, after I logged into all my streaming services, which can I just go on a mini rant here real quick? Why is there no unified way to log into your streaming services yet? One of them makes me sit there and actually use my remote to type in my email address and my long password that I don't even know what it is to be able to get all this in. Another one makes me go to a web browser on my phone and put in a code. That I don't mind. But now Disney Plus goes even a step further and like way easier is log in on any device that you have with the app open already and just say, oh yeah, I want to add this new device that's trying to get in. What? That's so easy. Why is there not some kind of streaming coalition where you guys just all come together and decide on one way to do it? Seriously, get on it. It's not that hard. Now, after I got all my services set up, I went to the For You section on Google TV, and it was just so nice to see all my TVs and shows pulled together from different apps instead of having to go through each one and trying to see who has what, where. Much like the individual apps have continue watching where you left off, this takes all of those that support it and put them into one place. So I don't have to go to each app to continue watching the show or movie. I can just continue my binge session and not even think about it. Now, the new Chromecast does support 4K HDR and Dolby Atmos surround. And unless you already have an 8K TV, you're actually going to be able to get the most out of your setup from this. And now I don't have Dolby Atmos here in the studio, but so far what I've seen with the HDR content, it's pretty on par. The only thing about this device so far that I don't like is that it came with a shorter cable than the Chromecast Ultra did, and it's not like a huge deal or anything. It's just if you have a TV that's mounted up high like mine is, you might need to get an extension cable or a longer USB-C to USB-A cable to plug it in. Actually, if you get a higher wattage charger than what comes in the box, you actually might be able to do some pretty cool things, but I'm gonna save that for another video, so you're just gonna have to stay tuned. In terms of first impressions, Google has a great start here, and they definitely have me interested. Should you get it or should you forget it? As of right now, if you're looking for a new Chromecast device, this is definitely the one to get. Like, hands down, this is the Chromecast device that you want. But I haven't had it long enough to see if it's my main streaming device yet. So stay tuned, because I have a lot planned for this device and a bunch of other things in the works. Google Nest Audio, Apple's HomePod Mini, a whole slew of things from Amazon, and of course the full review for the Google Chromecast with Google TV. If that sounds interesting to you, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. And that's it for me today, guys. If you liked the video, found it helpful in any way, leave a like, leave a comment, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.